Hey everybody, welcome to my video about iPhone tips and tricks. In this video, I'll be going over some random but useful tips and tricks I've come across that I think are quite helpful when using your iPhone, so stay tuned. My first tip is a simple one. Ever need to flip a coin? On your iPhone, just ask Siri to flip a coin, and she'll do it for you. She'll tell you whether it's heads or tails. I found this pretty useful, especially for figuring out what to have for dinner with friends, pizza or ramen. Heads for pizza, tails for ramen. Guess we're having pizza tonight. The next tip I'd like to share is the awesome power of Spotlight Search on your iPhone. To access Spotlight Search, just swipe down in the middle of the home screen. You can use it for currency conversion, unit conversion, math, and even perform web searches. It's quite powerful and super useful. Next, I'd like to share a trick when using low power mode. Most people know that when you put your iPhone in low power mode, it makes your battery last longer by stopping most background tasks. But it's also really useful when you're trying to charge your iPhone faster too. Next time you need to top up your battery fast, put your iPhone in low power mode when charging. I find it charges much faster than normal, which is likely due to less power being used in general. You can even charge faster if you turn on airplane mode, since that turns off all of the radio transmitters. But I find low power mode to be a good compromise, since it allows you to still receive texts and calls while it's charging. I go into more detail about this in my video, Charge Your iPhone Faster. I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to check that out. Did you also know you can use your iPhone as a level? Just run the Measure app and choose the Level tab at the bottom. This is really handy for hanging pictures and setting up tables. And while we're there, you can also use your iPhone to measure things in 3 dimensions. Just tap the Measure tab at the bottom, move the iPhone around to calibrate, and now you can measure things in the real world. I find this really useful when shopping for bags to make sure my computer will fit. I found it's not 100% accurate, but it's usually pretty close. Another tip that I use all the time that I've learned not everyone seems to know about is trackpad mode for the cursor. Anytime you're typing something and need to move the cursor around, just 3D press the keyboard and it turns into a trackpad. Now you can move your cursor around with better precision than just pointing to the place with your finger, which I found especially handy as my fingers aren't overly thin. Did you know you can even use a combination of your AirPods and iPhone as a makeshift hearing aid? The new Live Listen feature that was introduced in iOS 12 lets you use the mic on your iPhone to send audio to your AirPods. I like to use this for late night TV viewing, but I'm sure people can think of lots of other uses for this feature as well. If you'd like to learn more, check out my video AirPods with iOS 12, How to Use Live Listen. I'll leave a link in the description below. Another cool trick that I've heard not many people know about is in the Calculator app. Did you know you can swipe right to backspace, just in case you made a typo? And another tip, if you tap and hold the number on the display, you'll get the option to copy it. I find this useful sometimes if I'm adding up numbers and want to copy the result to Spotlight for currency conversion. Another great tip I've come to learn a lot of people don't seem to be aware of is Do Not Disturb. I find this great for when I go to bed. With Do Not Disturb, you can silence calls, alerts, and notifications that you get while your device is locked. I manually activate this every night before I go to bed. To manually activate Do Not Disturb, just go to the control center by swiping down from the top right and press the button with the little half moon on it. But if you're a pretty consistent person, you can also set Do Not Disturb to be scheduled by going to the Settings app, then tap Do Not Disturb. From there you can just switch on the scheduled option and choose the on and off times that work best for you. And the last iPhone tip I'd like to talk about is 3D Touch. I've come to learn that most people do know it exists, but haven't really tried it since it first came out. I'd encourage you to give it a try again on many of your favorite apps, as I find this to be a real convenient time saver. I use it a lot for making phone calls, opening private tabs in Safari, ordering or adding funds to my Starbucks card, joining Wi-Fi networks by 3D touching the Settings app, and even on some of my most used social apps like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and KakaoTalk. Do you have any great iPhone tips or tricks you think everyone should know about? Feel free to share them in the comments below. If there's enough of them, I might just make a follow-up video. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And while you're down there, don't forget to ring that bell and subscribe to the channel for more tech videos, including tech how-tos, every week. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.